Hello and welcome to Crypto News. Today is March 11th, 2026, and the top cryptocurrency news is as follows. We will start our episode with our ETFs, and we will talk about the spot Bitcoin ETFs, which in recent days have had inflows despite the crisis that the market is having with the war. However, I do not want to talk too much about Bitcoin ETFs, because I want to talk about the XRP ETFs first, which as you know have not had inflows. However, despite the market crisis and the prices of the currencies, the ETF continues to increase its capitalization, and from where it was at 0.15 billion, it has reached another 1.44 billion, so the currency may have fallen a lot. However, these ETFs are constantly buying small amounts, and we can see exactly the same with the Solana ETF. Yes, the inflows are small, however there are inflows and investors continue to buy. The Solana ETF, from where it was at 0.41 billion, has reached a capitalization of $1.45 billion. So a very good picture for these two ETFs, as you can see. Moving on, let's go to tokenization, and let's go to XStocks, which is probably doing an airdrop. Specifically, the XStocks platform, which is affiliated with Kraken, plans to launch a rewards program aimed at liquidity providers, traders, and DeFi builders using its on-chain stock token. So it introduced us to XStocks, which participants can get if they trade US stocks that have been tokenized, apparently to provide liquidity or to use some DeFi applications. So everything I described looks a lot like an airdrop, but there is no official announcement. And since we are on the topic of tokenization of investors, I want to tell you that according to Real World Asset, tokenized stocks have managed to reach a capitalization of $1.03 billion. Of all this capitalization, 58% or $604 million is in Onto Finance, and 23% or $245 million is in XStocks. These for now are the two big players in tokenization of stocks. Continuing, we will go to Bitmine, which did not buy Ethereum. However, we learned that it transferred 19.5 shares of dollars in Ethereum to Coinbase Prime. The reason is not clear. We have no announcement, and this is not the first time it has done this. A month ago, it transferred Ethereum to Coinbase again. Continuing from Bitmine, we will go to a stablecoin that is coming to the Stellar chain, and we'll go to Societe Generale, where the French bank has developed a stablecoin pegged to the euro on the Stellar blockchain. This stablecoin, of course, is MiCA compatible and will be used in blockchain-based financial applications and tokenized asset services. So another stablecoin in the cryptocurrency market. And let me tell you, stablecoins have reached $312 billion as banks and credit cards provide more of them. The good thing about this number is that we're talking about a 50% year-over-year increase. However, not all stablecoins are making big moves, as Tether and Circle's USDC account for 90% of the trading volume. And of that 90%, about 70% is the volume that Tether alone is making. So there are only two big players in stablecoins, but more and more, especially banks, are putting stablecoins on the market, so wait for the future to share the pie. Moving on, we'll go to Hyperliquid, which is up 10% on the 7-day chart, and the reason is the oil that we talked about in the previous episodes, as Hyperliquid has become the main exchange for oil, which has obviously been tokenized after the US attack on Iran, with the volume of this product exceeding $1 billion. And as we've said before, the more activity a network has, the better for its price. That's why we're happy with Hyperliquid these days. And for the last part of our day, we're gonna go to the penguins in the cryptocurrency market, who have released their own video game, which is called Pudgy World. And it's this video game that you see, which is for browsers. You don't have to download anything. You can just go to Google, Firefox, or whatever browser you use and play this video game. As you know, video games in the cryptocurrency market are not doing very well, and we'll see if this is an effort that will do anything. And we're gonna go to our favorite cryptocurrency market, with Bitcoin sitting at $69,000 to $70,000 as we speak. The price is struggling to break above our resistance, but today we may have the number that will determine the price of Bitcoin and essentially determine whether the price goes up or down from resistance. And I'm talking about the CPI on an annual basis. That wraps up the top news for crypto today, March 11th, 2026. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.